The system came about because we had been working off of the systems that the hospitals had provided us. And as we started to take on more clients and hospital systems started to get a little bit more complicated, we realized that we needed something to aggregate all of our studies. And to help achieve some of the efficiencies, we realized that there was about a 15-minute window from login and log out from one system to another. And so when physicians were having to do that multiple times throughout the day, the productivity was severely impacted. Well, we took 2 years just to decide on what the approach was. Initially, when I came to the group, the chairman of the IT committee had told me that I needed to get a PACS for the group. And as we started to look at what the environment was and what our workflows were, we pretty quickly realized that PACS wasn't going to be the solution. We really initially put the focus on dictation. At the end of the day, a radiologist produces a report. You know, we don't generate orders, we don't archive the studies, but we do generate reports. And so that was really where we started to put the focus on building the system. And naturally, from that use case, there were very clear informatics that we needed to achieve. So the other components of the system sort of came into focus. And then we decided that there was a need for a comprehensive workflow, consistent workflow for everything that we were going to aggregate onto the system. The problem was it seemed to manifest itself as a standard of care issue. You know, some of our larger hospitals, being that they were performing a wider range of procedures than the smaller hospitals, had a different way of encoding the information for these procedures. So, you know, anything from the procedure description. You know, you may have, let's use MRI lower extremity, for example. The common procedure terminology just simply says lower extremity. But, you know, in our large hospital, that's broken out into hips and knees and ankles and feet. There's laterality in that. And, you know, our larger hospitals had that all broken out in their procedures. Some of the smaller hospitals didn't. They might have hip, knee, ankle, but they might not have laterality, so that's the physician's responsibility, the radiologist's responsibility to include that in the report. You know, but it's significant because not just for what the radiologist is doing, but now when we receive that information, the more granular it is, the more intelligent we can be about going out to find the comparison data. Ten years ago, there was probably about 50% of the hospitals had PACS. Now, virtually every hospital in the United States has PACS in one form or another. So we have multiple disparate clients. So we have multiple different vendors providing that PACS technology, as well as the supporting technologies, the dictation platforms, everything from the peer review to the critical test results management. You know, it's a hodgepodge of different vendors that come together. Some hospitals will have, you know, say we have 3 hospitals that have the same PACS system, but we have 3 different dictation systems for those hospitals. So what we had to do, again, was to aggregate things and understand how we could leverage the skill sets of the hospitals and not interfere with their investment in the technology that they had already purchased. It's not just the capital cost of the software licenses and the supporting hardware, but it's the skill sets of the people. These are clinical people, they're not technical people. And, you know, this is training them on these types of systems is already outside their comfort zone. So asking them to train on something new is extremely disruptive.